I think the Rams may not win it, but I think they reach the NFC Championship. I don't know if they can beat Detroit. I don't know if they can beat Green Bay. Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, Sean McVay. That's a big-time offense. And they have given their last 2-3 years, all their draft capital up front is defensive dudes. They've been a top 10 scoring offense 2 of the 3 years Stafford's been there. I really like this team. And no noise. No noise. San Francisco, nothing but noise. Kyler Murray, he'll be some noise. No noise, no expectations. I don't know. The hardest 2 games of the year to win are a conference championship and the Super Bowl. I'm not saying the Rams win the conference championship. I think they get there. Number 4, I think Jordan.
Yeah. Listen, I think a lot of people are low on the Rams. I understand they obviously lost quite the big piece, but it's almost like people are forgetting just how legit of a coach Sean McVay is and who Matthew Stafford is. They won their Super Bowl, and then they weren't able to be as dominant or just be as much of a threat in the years that followed. And then, this past year, they kind of got off to a slow start. They had some injury issues. And then they lost to the Lions. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of like, who the heck are the Lions? The Lions are trash. They're garbage. Obviously, I know they're not, but it's just like the Lions haven't been anything in 30 years. And obviously, they've changed that, but it's still a no-win. Like, I feel like it would have maybe hit differently if, say, they lost to the 49ers, or they lost to, obviously I know it's not the same division, but like, or the same conference even, but they lost to the Chiefs. Like, where they just lost to a more like, yeah, this team has been great and elite for years and years and years. It's just like they lost to the Lions, right? They lost to Jared Goff. And I think that also brought down the stock a little bit of the Rams. But people forget who Matthew Stafford is. Matthew Stafford, speaking of the Lions, if he didn't waste so much of his career in the Lions, he is an absolute, undeniable, bona fide Hall of Fame quarterback. He is an unbelievable quarterback. Unbelievable quarterback. If he got to Sean McVay 5 years earlier, I mean, they'd probably have multiple Super Bowls. They'd at least be in multiple Super Bowls. And then, just even having basics like Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, like, having 2 great wide receivers with an elite offensive head coach and a top quarterback in the NFL, that alone, like, we don't even have to get any more messy than that. We don't even have to start to unpack the defense, unpack the offensive line, the run game. Like, that alone is enough for people to believe in majority of the teams. But for some reason, it's not enough to really propel the Rams into I'll just say, positive conversation. You don't really hear a lot of people even talk about the Rams, quite frankly. Colin, we know, is definitely very pro LA type stuff. So he loves LA, anything, quite frankly. He definitely holds just Los Angeles just a high up there. But like, you don't really see the conversation. Like, no one's really talking about what can the Rams do this season. You hear more talk about, of course, the 49ers. Can the Chiefs three-peat? Will the Lions win the NFC? What about the Packers? Even the Eagles, the Cowboys? Nobody's really talking about the Rams. And I find that fascinating. I really, really do. I'm a massive believer in what Sean McVay can do. And I just don't think Sean McVay is the type of coach who's going to have a team that's not going to be legitimately competitive for an NFC championship for too long, right? I just don't see him ever being that type of coach outside of course, injuries. And so it's just really hard to count out a team like the Rams to ever be in contention. Quite frankly, at the end of last season, they had a lot of momentum going, and they absolutely could have beaten the Lions if a few things went differently. I know a lot of people want to kind of harp on missed offensive pass interference call, but it's absolutely, it absolutely could have happened. I mean, the Lions did win that game, and you can't take that away from them. But I just think that to me, it wasn't like you were like the Lions are clearly better than the Rams if the Rams and Lions play another 3 games, the Lions are going to go win that game. I don't think that's the case at all. Now, again, the Lions have gotten better this year, but I think the Rams have too. And I think it's quite possible that the 49ers have potentially taken a step back, or at the very least, I think, or at the most, I think they've stayed the same. It's not so clear to me that the 49ers have taken a step forward, right? There's all this noise with Brandon Ayuk. Is Ayuk even going to be on the team? Yes or no? Is Brock Purdy going to take a step forward? If Brock Purdy doesn't take a step forward, then the 49ers don't take a step forward. They're just going to be exactly who they were. I think it's possible that the Rams actually take a step forward. I'm just not, too high on the Seattle Seahawks. And the Cardinals, I mean, I get it. I don't think Kyler Murray is some scrub. They are doing new things out in Arizona, right? New coaches starting from last year. So they are going in a better direction. But again, it's just hard for me just to even at the very minimum look at the big four of McVay, Stafford, Puka, and Cooper Kupp. And just that alone to me is just like, that makes you a threat in every single game. And I think we will see that this year. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think that the Rams can actually make the NFC Championship game? And do you think that they would actually win if they could? If they were in the game? Or do you think that the Packers and the Lions and the 49ers still kind of have that leg up on them? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so that you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.